All right, so Facebook page is third line. Oh, she started.
Yep. Hi there.
You have been trying.
Okay. Let's get this started. Let's get it started in here. And y'all didn't know because I wasn't on, but I haven't had my voice for like 4 days. I lost it Tuesday night after I talked to y'all. And you can still hear I'm a little bit nasally. It's like, but I at least have it back. All right. Let's see if we're on the page. I don't want to completely get started until we're on. Let me swipe left so I can see your comments. Hi, everybody. So we'll give it just a couple minutes. Look at this gorgeous quilt behind me. I love it. Let me try to back it up just a little bit. Ooh, go to the side so y'all can see more of it. Is that not gorgeous? I know that I've shown it before and that Tula did this last year when her solids first came out. Good morning, Marianne. Good morning, Nancy. Hi, Bonnie. I know, it's so beautiful, isn't it? I'm not getting rid of this one. I love this one. So I'm going to bring it a little more to me.
Nancy said hello, hello. Marianne said good morning from Florida, Texas.
I've been saying.
Oh, you have?
I've been saying hello.
I'm trying to help out.
He's trying to help. All right, so I am definitely on my new little system here. I've got my pad right here. So if you see me looking to the side, I'm looking at your comments. Yay, Donna, you got the alert. Cool. Yeah, we sent out a push notification on the app. So this is through the app. And this is a selling event. It's a demo, but we're going to do the selling with it. And this is not comment sold. We are off comment sold. This is actually a part of our website. We have this set up directly through me now. But if you're on Facebook, if you're on the app, you just add the items and you check out as normal. If you're on Facebook, because Facebook doesn't connect directly to my website, it runs through Messenger. So when you so connect like with your Facebook username and password, and that'll connect you through Messenger. As always, these items are available in the store. They are available on our website. You can get them through this video here at this point, and you can get it on the app. So we have lots of ways. We've got website. We're not completely over the hacking on Facebook yet, so I don't have the shop back up on Facebook at this point. But right now you can get online, in person, and on the app. So pretty good. All right. Are we ready for the question? Do we have?
Yes.
I guess we've got some people here that we can start doing it. Since we got hacked, good morning, Gabby from North Texas. Excellent.
And Tamara from Jonesboro, Arkansas.
And Tamara, nice. Thanks for coming. So we are going to ask the question. So this is how it works. I give away a $25 gift certificate to our website. And I'll give you a code, after the event. And then you can use it whenever you like. And the question, when I ask the question, you're going to share this video with your friends, with your sewing group, with your quilting group, with your whatever, your feed, it's fine. Share it and answer the question. You have to actually answer. What is your favorite Creative Grid ruler? So we're talking about Creative Grid today. So what's your favorite Creative Grid ruler? Good morning, Cheryl. I probably missed someone a little bit while I was talking, but
Sue Rose said, Sue from Oklahoma.
Hi, Sue. It takes kind of both of us, so. And
Adelaide Walsh said, can't wait for the demo.
I know. I love this ruler, guys. Y'all, it is, obviously we all have our favorite, and so I have my 8.5 by 24.5, and I have my 6.5 by 12. Those are my, just normal keep around all the time. But when I'm starting a project, I always start with the Stripology, and I finish. Your extra large ruler, absolutely. And I'm hoping that some people are new to the Stripology and they'll, love it and want to purchase it. Believe me, you will use the heck out of it. And then those of you who already have it but are still just cutting strips with it, hopefully this will
broaden your horizons.
Broaden your horizons. Any of the left-handed rulers? Oh, sweetie, I don't have the left-handed rulers. I really do need to get some more of those. I used to keep some, and then they hung around for a long time, so I stopped. But now that we're a little bit bigger, I need to start carrying them again. All right. Scrap crazy templates.
Abby, what she's saying is she's left-handed. So she's like, any of the left-handed rulers, because that works for her. That's what your answer is. So she can see the cutter left-handed.
Yes. We do have a cutter that's left-handed. New to Creative Grid rulers. Ah, that counts as well. If you don't have any, that counts as well. I especially love the Gundren, the one that developed the Stripology. Her rulers are, I don't know, there's something about her rulers that are just a little bit better. Just got an extra large ruler and love it. Excellent. Join the club. All right, do we kind of want to get started?
Yes.
All right, so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to show you like what I'm using today and all the different sizes with what I'm using today. Does that make sense? So like I'm going to show you the Stripology, but then the 2 sizes that we carry, and I'm going to show you the mat, but all the sizes that we carry. So we'll go through that. Then I'll show you exactly what we're using today, or I'll probably talk about it while I'm going through. And then I'll get to the demo, and then we'll go back through all those again in case you decide that you want something. All right. So I'm going to turn my camera down so you can see what's on my table. Let me get that kind of squared away. See everything pretty good? Okay. When it turns down on the video, I'll be able to see. All right. Upside down, but that's okay. All right. So what I'm going to show you first is the brand new Creative Grid rotary cutter. It comes in this beautiful case, and it's like it's a hard type case. Look how pretty that is. So it's a very hefty, heavy type of rotary cutter. And I actually love it because what that means is I'm not pushing as hard when I'm cutting with it. And I have found, and I've been an Olfa girl for, I don't know, 15 years, but I find myself reaching for this rotary cutter over the Olfas a lot more. So it's closed when it's in the middle position right here. If you're right-handed, you're going to slide it to the right like that. At first, this is a little awkward. It's a little tight and not as easy to do, but I found with use, it gets better and better. Now, I said there's a left-handed version. So middle is neutral, and if you're left-handed, you're going to roll it to the left. I got some lint in there. And then when you hold it with your left hand, you see that you can cut that direction. So this is truly a right or left-handed, but I am right-handed. And so it comes with a case to keep it, it's not a neutral, to keep it nice and safe, and you can put little accessories here, extra blades, or any of your other little sewing accessories, needles, and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out because we're going to be using it.
Yep, this is 101.
And this is 101. You should see it. If you would like to get this, you can just look. It's not on me. I was going to point up. I'm pointing up and it's not there. Above, I guess, this on this end.
Yeah.
This end, you can see it on the screen. Okay. So also,
Leanne says the blades last a lot longer as well.
They do. And the other thing I should talk to you about on this, and I completely forgot because I don't have notes. I'm kind of talking just from my experience. The blade is slightly curved. You can't really see it, but it's slightly curved specifically to go with the Stripology ruler. So it will hold in those grooves a lot better. That's a good thing about that one. All right, so I am cutting on Creative Grid's mats. If you did not know that they had mats, they actually have 4 sizes. I only have 3 available right now. I'm going to be working on the 36 by 24 mat on the Stripology side. The back side is the Stripology side. It's got measurements every half inch for lining up before you put the Stripology on top. And it's also got these 60-degree angles for you to line up your fabric before you put the Stripology on top, and I will show you that. But the front of these mats are traditional mats. They've got the numbers, if you can see, I'm going to do it here so you can see. They've got numbers outside the grid, so you can see the numbers, and you can put the fabrics all the way to the edges. It's got the traditional quarter yard, third yard, 3/8 yard, half yard, 5/8 yard, and 2/3 on this one. It goes all the way up to 1 yard on the larger one. And it also has the, I'm losing my thing, the 1.5 inch stars. So you don't have to do mat when you're cutting your 1.5 inch strips, and also the 2.5 inch squares. So you don't have to do the math when you're cutting your strips. You just look for the squares and cut there. All right, so this is the 18 by 24 size.
Okay, so that's, which one are you doing, 18 by 24?
Yeah, this is 18 by 24.
Okay, so it's 103, sold 103.
Okay. And then,
hold on, real quick.
Okay, we're gonna let that sit for a second.
I think go live every time.
Okay.
So that's the 18 by.
This is the 18 by 24.
Yep.
And this is the 12 by 18. And before you think this is too small, the 12 by 18 is what I use on my RV because I'm living on an RV right now. So this is the mat that I use on my RV. And also this is a great, if you do retreats, this is a great size to carry around and keep by your sewing machine. All right, that's the mats. And it's got the traditional self-healing, a nice gray with teal lettering, which is really nice.
You're doing the big one now?
I thought we had already done the big one.
I put it up, but it was
okay.
So this one's number 102.
Now the extra large is the traditional. I mean, is the largest size that Creative Grids has, and it's good for any, home-based sewing room. That's good. I know. So there are larger mats, but
put it there one more time just so I can tell everybody.
Which one?
All three of them. So the large is 102 if they would like it, and that's currently up.
The large is 102, which is the one that's on the base part of the table. The 18 by 24 is...
Really? It won't let you go back. Okay.
It won't let you go back. We'll just have to tell them.
So the middle one's 103.
18 by 24 is 103.
Right, it's $34.99.
It's $34.99. And the 12 by 18 is
104.
104.
And it's $29.
So this is.
And that's what they're seeing right now.
102, 103, and 104. Correct. The large mat's number 102, medium 103, and small 104. All right, we're moving on.
Yep.
New system we're learning. All right, the other thing I will be using today, and what you all came for, is the Stripology Ruler. This is the extra large ruler.
So Nancy said, I got the XL for Christmas 2020, and I'm scared to use it. So this is
Oh, no, Nancy. This is it. You throw it on that table and you get going, girl. This is a wonderful ruler, and I'll show y'all how to use it. All right, so this is the large one. Let me talk about some of the benefits while we're here, though this is part of the display. So if you did not know, the square, like I said before, is for 2.5 inches. That's a typical sewing when you're doing bindings or sashings or anything like that. So they've got it marked with the squares. So when you have a fabric under, you just cut the squares, 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 and you get all 2.5 inches without having to do the math. And then the stars are 1.5 inches because each one of these slits is 1/2 inch. So you do 1.5 star, 3, 4.5. You don't have to do the math for those typical measurements. Am I missing any comments or anything? No, we're doing good. Mm-hmm. All right. I will go over the rest of all of this when I'm doing the demo. I think it'll make more sense to you besides that. One thing to know is from edge to edge is 22 inches. they give you 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this side. So if you're cutting by 3s, you get to 18 and you need one more 3-inch cut. You can cut on the edge and get another 3-inch piece from that. So that's something that's good to know. That's my other little extra hint there. So instead of 1, so 18 is 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could get 7 strips by cutting on the edge of that ruler. 3-inch pieces. All right. So the other size, where's the other ruler? Size ruler.
Oh, right here, sorry.
So the other size Stripology that we have is the Stripology squared. It's slightly smaller. You can get 12 inch for the slits, actually 12 and a half. You have up to 12 and a half inch for the slits. And then, so this is 13 and a half inches because there's an inch on each side of the slit. And you can also do squaring of half sizes, half blocks, like 4 and a half, 6 and a half, 8 and a half, 10 and a half, 12 and a half, and also whole sizes all the way up to 12 inches. This one's just a little bit smaller. This one's called the squared. So I think this one's built mainly for squaring blocks, but you can also do that one with the large ruler. Do we have that?
Yep. Marianne said the light you're using is putting a white glare down on the screen.
It's the plastic that's on it, but once I move that, we can turn off the lights. Yeah, I'm going to turn off the light.
Okay. And Susan Bazzer said, I'm excited to learn about using it too. I got mine from you early this year and haven't used it either. So.
All right, so here we go. Nothing like the present.
And Leanne says, I love everything with Stripology. So.
All right. And I dripped coffee on me. Great. Taking a little sip. All right. Let's move this out of the way. That out of the way. So I've got a full yard of fabric here. And to know how to do it, you have a normal fold that comes from the manufacturer on the bolt. So you stick with that and you fold it up. Probably should have used a smaller piece to start with. You fold it up over the selvage here. You want it to just hit over the selvage. Nice and smooth. We're going to cut strips to begin with. That's not the tips, how you can take it further, but for people who've never used it before, this is the basic way to use it. And what I do, this bottom line, I line up with one of these little half lines on the bottom of the curve. And that makes it easier. Can you see it over here? I'm wondering if I'm too far over. It's not there yet.
Too far over, yeah.
All right, let's move this over here.
That's good, yeah.
Okay, so you've got black and white lines here. You can use whatever line you like.
Yeah, if you move it toward me a little bit, move the whole thing toward me. Yeah, there you go. Because the product is blocking where you are.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
On the screen.
Visual on the screen.
Okay, so what I'm looking for here, once I line it on the bottom here, you've got to make sure the top is kind of lined up. It's not going to hit a line truly, but kind of make sure it looks even. And if it doesn't, if it's not truly even, just kind of work it just a little bit. Line up that bottom line. Looks good on the top. I'm leaving quite a bit to do the selvage over here. You don't have to use that much. So I get my little ruler and I set it in. Hopefully this is in the camera.
Yep, you're good.
I tilt it to the side just a little bit to nestle it in there and then do my cut. And I usually don't pull that away until I finish, but I just wanted to show y'all how easy that was. We're actually going to do 2.5-inch strips. So then I just to the side a little bit, tuck it in there, 2.5. I'm following the squares. I'm not even having to look. And then you take it off and you get 2.5-inch strips that quickly and that easily. The benefit of this is you don't have to move your ruler for every time. So you get more consistent, more accurate cuts. How'd y'all like that? Wasn't that cool?
That was cool.
So that's the way that you'll use the Stripology really most of the time. And what's good is with a lot of patterns, you'll get cut 8 4-inch strips, subcut into, 64 4-inch squares. So what you do to cut the squares is I like to take it to this part, and I like to put the folded edge on my right and the selvage on my left. And I just line these up. That's the good thing about this mat. You get those 1/2-inch pieces and you can just line up those 1/2 inches. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just do a couple of them. But this is the good thing. You can do several at a time. And then you line up. Make sure all of them are lined up. If you have to adjust a little bit, lift the mat, just adjust a little bit. They look pretty lined up. So then what I'm going to do, lay it to the side, cut off the selvage at the 0, and then 2.5, line the squares, or whatever square size. We did 2.5, so we're doing 2.5-inch. And just like that, I have 2.5-inch squares. That simply. So when you've got those patterns that calls for like 120 squares, you can get that done in just a few minutes. How awesome is that? Any questions?
Laura said, wow, I just tuned in. I bought one at a garage sale. Francis said, best innovation in quilting in a very long time. And Ashley said, this makes cutting so much faster.
Yes, this does make cutting so much faster. I will agree. So lots of fun squares, lots of fun squares. All right. So and you can also do rectangles. So if your pattern says cut 8-inch strips and then, or 4-inch strips and then cut by 6 inches, you can also cut your rectangles that way, and you can pile them up and get them done very, very quickly. All right, so the first tip I wanted to show you outside of that normal way that you would do, with almost any pattern, is I want to show you how to square a block. So here's a block that I did yesterday.
Keep going. I'm just really sure.
Okay. When they're doing things behind me, I'm curious as to what they're doing. Now, this in particular, I know is a 10-inch block, so I'm going to use the hole sizes, which are on this side, right? 1, 2, 3, it's the hole inches. And then every one of these, so this is 3-inch, this is 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch, 8-inch, 9-inch, 10-inch, all the way up to 13. This is a 10-inch block. And they've got 1-inch, every 1/2 inch markings going all the way through, and also a diagonal this way. And you can use the diagonals this way to center your block. And then you're going to cut on the 0 and the 10-inch. You kind of line up the diagonals. I know my block isn't perfect, but I'm able to line up that center. And that will work. So then I cut my 0 and I cut my 10. Remove the pieces, turn it to the side. Now I am measuring, use your diagonal or your straight across, get it all nice and straight. Your bottom is lined up, your top is lined up. Now you, at the 10 and at the 0, you can do either one first. And now the block is squared. It's that simple. It lines it up for you. So squaring blocks is simple with the Stripology. And if it were a half size, you've got all your, from 4.5 to 12.5 here. And here's your center marking with these two diagonals. You center it up right there. And I would have to take this down to 9.5 inches if I were going to do it, but I'm not. And then you cut your two sides, turn it, line it up, cut your other two sides, and that's how you can square up your blocks. And this, what I love about this is if you've got seams that are kind of bulky because multiple pieces come together, this, if you can't really see it, but these are able to go around those bumpy pieces. It's hard to see, but I've got some tight ones here, and those little slits can stick up so you don't have to worry about the bulky pieces, and you can still square your blocks nice and square. So the ruler, if you're using a flat ruler, it tilts and stuff like that on those thick seams. So that is probably the one thing that sold me on this, was squaring up my blocks. I can do it so much easier. And I also use it to square up, when I was doing these half square triangles, I also used it to square up these half square triangles. So that was kind of nice to be able to make sure my smaller pieces were squared to do my larger piece. Any questions on that?
No,
did that blow anybody's mind?
I guess they're all in awe.
All right, so that's my first one that I talked about on my email. First thing that you might not know about with the Stripology. No, it was the cutting of the squares. We already did that, the squares and rectangles. All right, I want to use this to do a 4-inch strip. Ashley said mine. Did she ask a question that we missed?
Oh, no.
No? Okay.
Maybe she's answering the question.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'm going to use this fabric and cut, go back to the hole. I'm going to cut a 4-inch strip because I want to show you how to do diamonds. So I'm all lined up. It looks good at the top. Straighten out, square out my, all right, I'm just cutting one strip. So what I'm going to do diamonds and then triangles is I'm going to line up the bottom of this 60-degree line. See, this is the nice thing about the mats. It kind of gives you these lines that you can use. It helps when you're using your ruler. So I am going to line this up, put the 0 on the spot past the selvage, and I'm going to line up this 60-degree line that goes through here with the bottom of the fabric. And since we have a 4-inch piece, I'm going to cut at the 0 line, and then I'm going to cut at the 4-inch line, and the 8-inch line, and the 12-inch line. And the 16 is not long enough, so what I'll do is I'll remove this front piece. I will move the line up to the top of the fabric, line up this 0 line, because you've got a line that shows where the 0 is. Line it up with the side, line it up with the top, and then you can cut at the 16 line, cutting that extra little piece right there. So now what we have are 4-inch diamonds like this. To get the triangles, what you do is you turn your ruler 90 degrees. Thank you. And there's some little markings here for 60 degrees, and it comes off to the side, and you line it up at the top. It kind of helps you line everything up. And then you cut 4 inches and 8 inches. And I don't need to cut any more because it's too short. Then what you get are...
We didn't do 0, but that's okay.
Oh, I didn't do 0. I'm so sorry. I forgot to do 0. But you get triangles. My bad. You're supposed to cut at the 0. So I gave you another diamond. But it also makes the 60-degree triangles as well. Like that. So that is how you can make diamonds and triangles. How fun is that? Any comment, any questions on that?
I think everybody's there with open mouths.
All right.
Michelle's giving you a thumbs up.
Cool.
Ashley gave you a smiley face. Mind blown. So.
All right. So last thing that I'm going to talk about today, because I don't want to overwhelm anyone, and we'll do a quilt. Well, I'll show you a quilt that I made just from the Stripology. So we'll take all these fun pieces away. You can also, because some people have said it's disappointing because they like to do like 2 1/4 for their binding or something like that. You are able to do 2 1/4. I'll put this one back out to cut from. It's already kind of set up for it. So what we do is we have a little cheat sheet. And this is a downloadable sheet. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see it. It's a downloadable sheet. I will put this video as a link to the YouTube. I'll put it on YouTube and have a link to the YouTube page. And I'll also put this as a download. So say you want to cut 2 1/4 inches because that's the binding that you like to cut. Your first cuts where you line this up just like normal are going to be 4 1/2, 9, 13 1/2, and 18. So let's do that. Going to line this up. I know I'm a little far over. So we're going to remember to cut on the 0 this time. 0. And then the next cut at 2 1/4 is 4 1/2. And then the next cut is 9. Then the next cut is 13 1/2. And the next cut is 18. Then what I do is I remove the little end piece and I move the ruler over to this little 1/4 inch line, dotted line to the left of the 0 slit. And then you cut on the sheet here. Your move ruler over 1/4 cut and then cut 2, 6 1/2, 11, 15 1/2, and 20. So I'm going to do that now. So you cut on your 0 line, 0, 2 inch, 6 1/2, 11, 15 1/2, and 20. And that gives me 2 1/4 inch strips for my binding. So this is a lovely little cheat sheet that you can use to do your 1/4 inch cuts and 3/4 inch cuts. So how is that? Oh, I have one more thing. I have one more surprise. I'm giving y'all a bonus. I'm glad I took notes because I would forget. All right, so there's your 1/4 cuts. And that one's a little known. I don't hear about that one very often, so that's a good one. Where's one of my squares? Do I have a larger square? It's easier to see with the larger square.
So Bonnie, while you're doing that, Bonnie said, did not cut diamonds and triangles. So that was a positive. And Laura said, maybe I should get out my Stripology book. I've learned so much. And Adelaide Wash cannot say enough about these rulers. You can cut out a whole quilt in a matter of minutes.
You sure can.
Donna said, me too. And Rhonda K. Heyman said, love my Stripology rulers. Cheryl said, I'm a bit overwhelmed, but that's okay, Cheryl.
It is. And that's why I'm not doing any more than this. because there are a few more things, but we're going to wait on those, and I'm going to do some samples and stuff like that. And I'm going to post this video on our YouTube channel so you can revisit it anytime you like. And all I'm doing here is cutting a little bit bigger of a strip. I want a 5-inch block because I want to show you something that you can see easier with a 5-inch. So I'm going to... And doing a single square is easier with a regular ruler, but I don't have a regular ruler with me right now, so I'm just going to use the Stripology, and it still isn't that long. Clean this up a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to do 5 because I want a square. All right. So if you need to cut half squares, to make it easier, right here on the edge of the ruler, you see, yeah, it's on this side. You see this little line right here. What you do is you line your square up with that dotted line and with this little line that comes off the top here. And then you run through the 20 and you've just cut your square in half. So that's how you cut half squares. All right. How cool is that? This is like, what do they say, Macarena cool?
Yeah,
so
Jennifer Ann said, wow, that's pretty cool. And Adelaide just said, just jump in, get your worst fabric, start cutting and learn about it.
Exactly. Exactly. Though I didn't use my worst fabric, I kind of like this one. This
Kim
one's really
Kidder said,
cool.
my favorite Stripology Ruler is the XL, and it's the only one she has. And she thanks for showing how to square up a block. I had not done that yet.
It will totally change your world because you can square up so many blocks. And you know how when you're using a straight ruler, you can only cut one side at a time, right? And you're hoping that it's square with the other side. This, because you've got these markings, these diagonal markings, and you can square up straight or diagonal, and you do 2 cuts at one time, you know you're getting a good square on your block. So it just makes for more accurate cutting.
Yep.
All right, to go back through, if for people who weren't here, exactly how to cut those triangles is awesome. We've got, are we just going to tell the numbers?
Yeah, we're just going to
because we can't go back through it.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's all right. So,
The cutter.
can I have the pen?
You can, sure can.
So if you like this rotary cutter that can do left-handed or right-handed, like I said, this is my only complaint about this is a little wonky through here. But other than that, it's easy to change the blades. Now you do have to use just the Creative Grid blades because it's got that special curve to work with this Stripology ruler. But again, I don't even pick up my Olfa anymore because I love this one so much. So the rotary cutter, do I know how to spell? I'm spelling cutter.
R-O-T-A.
Cutter. So this rotary cutter is number
101.
101 if you would like to buy it.
Okay. You want a price or anything?
It's $57.99.
Yep.
Okay. And then the mat.
Mat, the large mat.
The large, which is 24 by 36,
is number 102.
102.
And it is $67.99.
$67.99. And the medium
yep.
mat, that's 18 by 24.
It's 103.
Is 103.
That's $34.99.
$34.99. I know it's upside down. I'm going to turn it over when I get through writing. The small
small mat
is 12 by 18.
Yep.
And it is 104.
104 and it's $20.99.
$20.99. And then we've got the extra large Stripology.
Yep, that is
Stripology.
It's 105.
Is 105. And that's the one that I was working with.
And that's $69.99.
$69.99. That's the one I was working with. And then we've got the squared.
Yep.
Stripology for 106.
Yep.
And that one is
$56.99.
$56.99.
Thank you.
All right, turn that around so y'all can see it. I know that that is kind of awkward. It won't let us select it again. But if you would like those, that's where they are. And again, these are all on the website. They're on our app. You can purchase them here.
Okay, so Francis asked, I joined late and this may have been covered. I had to learn how to fold my fabric straight of grain to avoid elbows in strips. I would like to see your demo on that.
Okay. To avoid the elbows, you don't have to worry about this, but to avoid the elbows, because this is how it comes off the bolt, right? You've got this line here that the bolt line was. Take it up over the selvage. And I don't mind going back over things. Don't worry about it. Then when you line this up, you're always going to use either the white or the black lines, whatever works for you. We're going to use black right here. You're always going to leave a little on the end so you can square it up. You line up this bottom line, but you also make sure this top line is pretty good. And see this one here on this side, it's a little bit tall. So what I would do is just adjust this a little bit. And then look again. Line it up on the bottom. The top looks really good. And that's the nice thing. This keeps it nice and tight. Let's look at some of these strips that I did before. No elbowing. Do you see that? There's no elbowing on there. The Stripology, as long as you make sure they're lined up at the top right there, there's no elbow. Does that help?
Yeah. And there's somebody asked, do you have to use the rotary cutter for this ruler? And I like how they're talking back and forth with each other. They're helping with each other.
Yes.
So
No, you do not have to use the Creative Grids rotary cutter with this. I just found that when I'm working with these slits, it is made to fit in these slits better. This is something very, very new that they've come up with. You can use a 45 millimeter like I use. I'm kind of a 45 millimeter girl. You can use a 60 millimeter, but you cannot use any lower than a 45 because you've got to go through these slits. Now you can use the ones that you retract, but the ones that on pressure retract will not work with this. You know what I'm talking about? So you can use these, or you can use the ergonomic that you squeeze it out. But if you have the kind of rotary cutter that you have to put pressure on it to get the blade come out, it will not work with the Stripology.
And that's what Jennifer Ann Bloxham said. She said, I use my Olfa, but it seems like the special blade can make it easier.
Yeah, it does. My Olfa caught on it. I've got a couple of little nicks on here where my Olfa caught. Now, if you do kind of put your blade kind of to the side and then roll it, that helps. And after a while, I mean, if you watched me doing it, I kind of was in the habit of doing it like that. You know, that'll help even with those Olfa ones. But, you know, if you have a birthday.
I'll read it out to you.
Okay, your pre-washer. And it's not, but if you, Fran, I'm talking to you right now because I read your comment. It's not, and that's why lining this up and making sure the top and the bottom line up and are equal will prevent that elbow. Because you will adjust it. And when you do that zero line, that will square it up and make all of your strips past that work. And if you're a pre-washer, then again, do your folds just like this and make sure it equal, you know, it's lined up at the bottom and kind of equal on the top. So we're lining it up on the bottom. And it doesn't hit a line, but when you go across, you notice they're all about the same level above that line. So as long as you make sure the bottom and the top look good, I've never had elbowing with this. And I'm not a pre-washer. And I don't give me the benefits of it. Everybody has their camp and everyone has their preference. So.
Yeah, so Kate Romaine said, will you guys post this video tutorial so we can watch it later, please?
Yes, I will, Kate. I'm actually going to leave it on Facebook, but I'm also going to post it on the YouTube account. Oh, my voice is starting to go. Yeah.
And last question said, will
yeah, no, question. I love them.
Mortelli cutter work?
As long as it does, I don't know. As long as it doesn't, like it's guarded until you press on it. If it's not like that, then it should work. Like if it's guarded all the time and you have to press on it to unguard, those you cannot use. But if you remove the guard like this, or by squeezing it with the ergonomics, then it works.
Yeah, so Leanne said, I've used a Martelli with these rulers.
There you go.
So there you go. Okay.
I can't work those Martellis. I've tried. Carol has one of those and it's just gotten really weird. All right, so I'm going to come back up here. And the reason why I'm showing you this quilt, not just because it's Tula and Tula is, you know, all of that, but I made this quilt entirely with the Stripology Ruler. Obviously, there's strips everywhere. So not only did I do the strips with this, which, by the way, I cut the strips in probably like 30 minutes, but I squared each one of these blocks with the Stripology. And for this quilt in particular, if you did not do that, you were not making this come together. So even though this one doesn't call for the Stripology, this is not a Stripology specific pattern. This interwoven pattern absolutely benefits from using the Stripology. And we have that available. By the way, we still have kits for this if you like this. This is the interwoven kit. Did you put it up?
Oh, is that on here?
Yes.
Okay, now sorry.
This is the interwoven kit. It is $69.95. It has all the fabrics. It does not have the pattern, but it's got, and I even put in the kit, I put it in this colorway. So these are the Tula solids. And then if you like this pattern, this is a separate pattern, the interwoven
so that's 107. So
this is 107 for the fabrics. And then you've got the quilt pattern that you don't have to use these colors with. The pattern is separate. The interwoven quilt pattern by Lo and Behold. Yep. All right, so now we're transitioning. This is a transition. Don't go away just yet. We are transitioning from the demo of the Stripology into our mini quilt show. I know it seems crazy that we've got so much in one day, but I was sick the last time and I couldn't do the demo of the Stripology. And this was the weekend that we were doing the mini show, so I kind of blended the two. So what we're going to do now is what I want to know for another $25 gift certificate that we are giving away, gift card for our website that we're giving away is, oh, Marcia, not a problem, not a problem. Give me just a second and I will go over that. So the gift certificate, is please share this video and you share and then comment answering this question. What is your go-to project for a gift? So like, do you make hand towels, or do you make a little clutch wallet, or do you do a quilt? Do you do mug rugs, that kind of thing? What is your go-to gift that you give away, that you give to people? Mine has to be mug rugs. I give away a lot of mug rugs. They're quick, they're simple, I can do them real fast. That and tote bags. I do simple tote bags. Not like the one I carry around, but more like one of the Tula pink ones. Do you see one of the Tula pink ones anywhere?
No.
I'll show you when he finds it. You're a big quilt gifter. Very cool. Any other comments I missed? So Marcia, right? Marcia, I'm answering Marcia's question. How that we go about buying. Yes, that's a perfect. Okay, real quick. I give away like tote bags like this. Just simple tote bags with a with like a slip pocket on the inside. Very simple like that. And no, that fabric is not available anymore. That is from my stash. All right, so Marcia, how do you purchase? That is a great question. So all of these items are on our website, so you can leave and go to the website and look at them. You can order from this page by putting sold and the number that is on there. So right now, what's above my head is the interwoven quilt pattern, and that is, it doesn't tell me the number.
Oh.
Actually, it does on this one. You put sold 108 in the comments and it will message you through your messenger. And then you can log into my account, and because this is based on my account. Or if you have the app, this video is also going live on the app, and our full website is on our app. And you can find that on Google Play and Apple Store. And I think we have a QR code bumping around there somewhere. I can put it again. So anyway, those are the ways that you can purchase. This is not come and sold. So when you go to your messenger and it asks you to register, you're registering with my website. So there's no third party here, just one to connect Facebook. We do. So anyway, y'all have a beautiful weekend. We are here till 4 o'clock today. We are open. We are a brick and mortar. There's Mr. Threaded Lines. And y'all have a wonderful, beautiful weekend. And let me know if you have any questions about the Stripology Ruler. I'll be more than happy to help. When we get off here, I'm going to do some video editing. Oh, I'm about to sneeze again. And I will get just the Stripology demo onto YouTube, and then I'll link it up on the inspirations page with that 1/4 inch cheat sheet. So anyway, y'all have a beautiful weekend. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.